Hello, everyone. My name is Daiki, and today I'm gonna talk about anti-Japanese vitriol. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. And I was born and raised in Japan, but my nationality was Korean originally. Uh, Although I changed my nationality into Japanese 4 years ago, my roots is from Korea. So I have both feeling, Korean and Japanese. Okay. And I don't know if you guys know about that relationship between Japan and Korea. It's really bad relation. Okay. So on January 8th, um, Korean court decided to um, make Japanese government pay for comfort women. A comfort women is kind of sex slave in Pacific War at that time, and they said the Japanese government should pay for them, these women, um, a one 100 million yen per person. And Japan is really angry about that because we already paid for the comfort women problem. um, I think the 50 years ago, or I mean 5 years ago, we paid a lot of money to Korean government, but they again forced Japanese government to pay money. Okay, so like this problem, Japan and Korea uh, have not decided, uh, no, have not um, solved any problems. Okay. Um, so from now, I'm going to talk about the some problem and the history from this book. This book's name is Akai Kankoku, which means Red Korea, and the writer is Yoshiko Sakurai, who is Japanese, and Oh Song-fa, who is from Korea, but she is now Japanese like me. She changed nationality. Okay, so um, why uh, do Korean have anti-Japanese feelings? This is um, because of their um, like idea or thoughts, which is called Neo-Confucianism. Um, so in the past, like 200 BCE, in China, the Confucian made Confucianism, and Neo-Confucianism is kind of the similar to the Confucianism in China. And the thoughts of Neo-Confucianism is like hierarchy system. Um, the people who have the higher status have to obey the lower. No, um, the people who have a lower status have to obey the higher status people. So they think, the Korean people think, China is a father and Japan is a little brother. So China is superior to Korea, but Japan is inferior to Korea. So that's a system of hierarchy for Neo-Confucianism idea. And as I wrote on this, because China is their parents, has a higher status, it is no problem to be invaded by China. In fact, China invaded the Korean Peninsula tons of times, like over 200 times in the past. On the other hand, of course, Japan have invaded Korean Peninsula, but it's just like countable times, like I don't know, 5 or 6 times maybe. And Korean people uh, don't talk about the Chinese invasion, but they become really angry about the Japanese invasion because Japan is inferior to Korea. So it's kind of like hatred feeling for Korean people. So they consider Japan as like island nation and inferior civilization. And Korean people think we taught a lot of new things and like religion and culture to Japanese people. That's why they have a kind of the feelings of Han, which is hatred. Okay. Okay. And these three examples are the anti-Japanese acts. And the first example is from Korean newspaper, 2013. They wrote about the atomic bomb. And they said the dropping of atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki was a punishment and revenge by God against Japanese militarism at that time. So they agreed that the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And that is not a right thing, That's not, I cannot forgive this writer. It's really a bad statement. Yeah, it's very incorrect statement. And the second example is Korean group of thieves stole Japanese Buddhist statue from both shrine and temple in Tsushima Island. And there is an island between Korean Peninsula and Japanese Kyushu area. And Tsushima Island is Japanese territory. And the Korean group went there and stole the Buddhist statue. And the result is one of them was returned to Japan, but the other one is still in Korea. So it's not fair, and so their thought is Korean court judged not to return them because Japan originally stole those statues from Korea in 16th century. In 16th century, Toyotomi Hideyoshi invaded Korea, I think 1598, around 1598 period. And Korea was devastated by the Japanese military, and they have a hatred feeling of that. That's why they think it's um, it's fair to steal the statues which was stolen by Japanese in the past. Okay, so the third example is the former president Park mentioned that Japan should realize the correct historical understandings for the peace of Northwest Asia. And she said to Obama about that. So they think that the the history textbook of Japanese history textbook is not right written textbook. So the Korean people think Japan should write a correct fact of history in the textbook, Japanese textbook for the children. But for me, I think the history is not 100% correct thing. So, you know, the Korean write good thing for Korea, and Japan write about the good things for Japan. I think any countries do that. Okay, so these anti-Japanese act make Japanese people angry, and this feeling, I think this feeling will never be faded. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you my own opinion. So personally, criticizing about aggression of Japanese military in Showa period is not a big deal. I mean, so Japanese militarism and like the people was really um, aggressive and like similar to Nazi, you know, Germany, Nazi, like who was that? The I forgot. Yeah, so Japan was a really bad country. I know about that. So it is okay to criticize about that, but I cannot forgive the insult for the Japanese people who died from atomic bomb. It's not humanitarian thing. And about comfort women, yeah, I think personally it is okay to criticize about the comfort women, but it's not. Japan should not pay for them because we already paid for the Korean government. Okay, that's it. Thank you.